And I already have Michael Amshirero in here, the new convert of the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters. We want to have a no-holds-barred conversation, and I think you are up for that. And it's 29 minutes to 5, and like I said, this is the home run. But let me just take a breather, and then I'll be back. And from there, then we will have to hit the ground running. This is Eagle FM. We are coming to you live from the capital. We do this every weekdays. We will be back just now.
Speak your mind while respecting the opinions of others.
How can you say Namibia was brought on a silver platter when so many people were massacred?
No, that's not what I mean. I mean on the silver platter
in terms of the infrastructure.
Of the infrastructure. Mm-hmm. You know, there were schools, there were roads, there were...
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
To grab that victory against Ivory Coast will be a big one for us. It will be the first step.
Social position to raise a child. What does that mean? Baby dumping.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
The commander say hold fire, they hold fire. When the commander says fire, they fire. You know, they are trained to kill. We are trained to arrest people and bring them before court.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
That's why some of us wear unbranded clothes. Because it's about selling their product.
So talk on Eagle FM. Eagle FM, the eye.
All right, welcome back. Michael, you have been here before, and Kelvin had you on his program this morning. But the news that you would be converted, or you had been converted to the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, hadn't gone out by then. We will come to that, because there are things that we need to clear off the table right now. Do you think that people must trust you, Michael?
What's there not to be trusted about me?
No, I'm just asking.
Yes,
do you think that people must trust you?
Yeah, people should trust me.
Okay. Now, I'm asking this because I know there's a court case that we cannot talk about now. And because it's we cannot talk about it this before. But there are people who may not be happy with what went on. And this is why I'm putting to you the question that, do you think people can trust you now?
No, people have always trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
And they continue to trust me.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you really believe in that?
You see, wonder.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of life is that whatever it is that people perceive of you, whether good or whether bad, it will always be a perception.
Okay.
There are people who do not know me, they have never met me, they have never engaged with me, but based on what they've heard, they've come to their own conclusion.
Yeah.
Now, whether that conclusion is to trust me or not to trust me is entirely up to them.
Okay.
Am I a trustable individual? Very much. But no matter how trustable you are, there's just someone out there who's saying, this man, just by, you see, trust is a difficult thing to discuss.
Yeah.
Someone, just by the way you look, will say, this man, I cannot trust him. But the question is the person trustable?
Okay.
Or have they done something that is questionable to say, why should I not trust this individual? Yes, perhaps that should be the case.
Yeah. But do you also think that you are being persecuted?
No, I don't think I am. There's a difference to think, and there's a difference to know. I'm being persecuted. I'm not thinking that I'm being persecuted. So, yes, I'm being persecuted.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do you handle persecution? Others obviously back down and laid down and stayed down. Now, there's a fighter in me who says that no matter how things get worse, we'll always continue getting up. Here, they thought they would have defeated me when they froze my assets, seized my accounts. They thought, no, this is the end of him. We have silenced him. He was just a boastful person because of the material things that he has. Now I'm still a boastful individual with no materials. I still speak my mind with no materials. So you will find a situation where others would want to silence you. The question is, why do people want to silence me? What is it that I do? What is it that I say?
But Michael, who listens to you anyway?
Who listens to me? The young youth of this country. Majority of them.
Yeah.
And you'd actually be shocked that I have a large following of the old population as well, the matured population. So literally everyone follows me. I sometimes walk into a mall, kids who are 6, 7 years old, they walk up to me and say, "Are you that guy who has a lot of money?
Who displays money?
Are you that guy?" And you see, popularity simply means that you are well known. So I'm a popular figure in this country. I'm known in State House. I'm known in cooker shops.
And how do you know that you are known in the State House?
How do I know I'm known in State House? Because I'm a state enemy. I'm an enemy of the state. So how will the state
Is
know
this
it's
not
an-
a perception?
No,
Some
it's
kind
not.
of paranoia kind of feeling that you carry around and think.
No, it's
you
not
are
even
being
paranoia.
persecuted. Yeah.
You see, the thing is, there's a difference to have paranoia and there's a difference to actually know what is happening.
But how do you know that?
How do I know that? Okay, well, let's first look at the events leading up to my arrest. What is it that I did? What is it that I was doing?
Yeah, but then there's a case before the court now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why is there a case before the court? It's because clearly I was doing something. So there's a difference between being having perceived enemies and having real enemies. Now I have real enemies, and my enemies are in government. This is not perception. This is reality.
So you think there's somebody who wants to get back to you simply because of the money, simply because of what you were doing, or because of who you are?
Not even because of the money, or the money is a big component, because capital allows you to fund whatever it is that you're trying to fund. Let's assume I want to fund political parties so that we can overthrow the government. That becomes a bit...
Is that what you were doing?
That is precisely what I was doing.
You were funding parties.
Yes, including my own that I wanted to start.
And how much money did you put in?
A couple of millions. I'd need to get auditors, but not PwC, because those guys, they're not so credible anymore. But we'd need to get auditors and see exactly how much money we were pumping in. But apart from the money,
Yeah.
there's a thing called an audience. Now, if you follow me on social media, you will realize that I have a large audience and a massive reach. If I make a video today, videos go viral.
Okay.
They'll be circulated in WhatsApp groups and so forth. So this is a powerful individual. And most of the videos that I create or that I make, I'm constantly hammering and bashing the current government.
Yeah.
There was an incident in 2019. I think it was in January when I was in Dubai.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I know this incident very well is because while I was in Dubai, I received news that Dimbulukeni Nauyoma was arrested for trying to prevent a shack of a homeless person being evicted or something of the sort. And I went on my social media. At the time, I was seated on the toilet pot because I didn't even have time to go to my room. And I made a video where I said Hage is an educated fool. This video went viral. This video went so...
But was it the right thing to say, though? Because was there any evidence that Dimbulukeni had been arrested on the behest of the president?
No, it's not to say on the behest of the president.
Yeah.
You see, the reason why people continue to be landless in this country is because of individuals like Hage Geingob. He was one of the constitutional founders, meaning that they agreed to land continue to being in the hands of our white counterparts.
But why do you target him alone? Because there are so many people who also worked on that constitution. It seems as if in most of your attacks you target him so much. Why?
No, the reason why I target him is because he's at the helm of government. That's the head. When you want to kill a snake, what do? You don't fight the tail, you don't fight the intestines, you cut off the head. Now, it is not my prerogative, and it was not my choice, and it was not my decision. It was his own decision to decide that he wants to become president. Now, the problem that we have in Africa is that we often tend to think that once somebody has become president, they are no longer accountable. And this is why Africa is the way it is, because no one dares to challenge the head of state.
Now,
So,
it's
he's
one
not
thing
untouchable.
Yeah, it's one thing challenging the head of state, and it's another thing where you, because if you say like what you said, you are not challenging him. There's no challenge there. What challenge is there by calling someone a fool?
No,
You are not
educated.
challenging.
No, an educated fool.
Still,
No, but that's
what
the
kind
reality.
of a challenge is that?
What kind of a challenge is that? That
What
is
do you
lit-
get out of it?
What do you get out of it? Number one, what you get out of it is to say that let us start saying things the way they are. You see, most of the time we want to sugarcoat things. Here you are, you've got PhDs, you've got doctorates, and you've got all these nice things. But still with your doctorates, you are failing, and you are incompetent, and you do not have the ability to successfully manage and run a country with vast mineral resources with a population of less than 3 million people.
Yeah, but let's go back. Did all these things that you are explaining here, did they start with the current one? Or we can stretch back and then say from this time to this time, this is what has been happening.
Yes. No, so Wanda, this is one thing that people should understand.
Yeah.
When Sam Nujoma became president of this country, I was not born. I was born a year after he became president.
Yeah.
When he stepped down, I was 14 years old. When Pohamba eventually took over, I had no interest in politics. So by the time then we started getting an interest in politics, we obviously joined the ruling party, and I saw what the ruling party was all about, and I saw the nonsense that they were doing there. And as a result, by the time Pohamba had served his term, Hage then obviously took over. Now, if we were to say that, why is it that we're not going after the previous presidents who were
The foundation. Yeah.
in terms of looting and all of these things?
Yeah.
Now, whose prerogative does it become? Because who's currently in charge of the state machinery? So if Hage and his stooges are to say that it was Sem who looted and it was Pohamba who looted, why then have no charges been brought against them?
Let me ask you this. Do you get kicks? Do you get excited by describing people like stooges, fools, and that kind of thing? Does it make you happy?
No, it doesn't make me happy. But
Why
it's the
do you
character
do that?
of the person. It's the nature of the person. Wonder if you're a thief, what must I call you? Must I call you a priest?
So
So merely because now, because you are a thief, I must now call you something sweet to soothe yourself or what?
yeah, but you can only call someone a thief if they are convicted.
No, but you see,
Not until and unless they have been convicted.
but when I say thieves, wonder, where have you heard a construction of a toilet that cost $500,000? When a full house, 3-bedroom with a garage cost $500,000.
Yeah.
That is thieves. You cannot tell me you are constructing a single toilet, not even with concrete, just normal zinc, and those things cost 500,000. Now, if you honestly believe that that's not stealing,
Yeah.
then why do we never go after these individuals? Because that is the problem. Where is the accountability? Now, perhaps our people, because constantly they are being told nice things about these people, this is why perhaps they continue to empower and vote the same individuals.
But what choice is there?
No, it's not to say what choice is there. You see, the choices will always be there.
Yeah.
But the question now about in terms of choices, you are then left with limited or no options at all.
Yeah.
Now, part of the reason why the ruling party has been in power for so long is, let's face it, if you keep people impoverished, if you keep them uneducated, if you keep them uninterested in politics, then you literally have a nation that you can manipulate. That's why they've been successfully able to go back for 32 years, making the same promises. The promises don't change.
Yeah.
The promises have always been the same. Now, these people, because to them they feel that their hope is only with this one individual.
Yeah.
You see, it's your first love. It's always difficult to say bye to your first love, because the first love is the one that took your virginity. They are the ones who bought you your first flowers. They are the ones who told you, I love you for the first time. So now, as a result, most of our people are now stuck in this toxic relationship.
Yeah.
It's a thing of they want to leave, but many of them do not leave because it's now a principle of bread and butter.
Yeah.
The moment you become vocal and say, no, guys, we are surrounded by thieves, this is what's going on. You know very well how many people have not been demoted. Let's look at a guy like Bernard Haufiku, doctor. He was there in charge of the Ministry of Health. You could clearly see he was trying to make inroad in ensuring that our health facilities become again something where people would actually want to go. And the problem with government is that government always wants to be naive. When you don't have funds and someone then uses their prerogative and their circle and networks to look for donations for your people, you now say this person is embarrassing government. And then,
but when we talk about Dr. Bernard Haufiku, is what we know what went on, or there are some other things that we don't know that went down?
no,
Because I would also want to add to that and ask you, do you really think that there's anyone who is perfect?
no, I'd not like to say that there's anyone that's perfect, but you can clearly see that there's a feeling that whoever seems to be competent
Yeah.
and a bit of intellectual, and you somehow don't clap your hands, then you cannot be part of the team. Now, that is very dangerous, Wanda. In a democracy, you and I should be able to hold different views. You and I should be able to...
All right. It's the manner of holding those different views that I alluded to earlier on. How do you do it? Do you do it by calling someone an educated fool, a buffoon, a stooge, or you do it in such a manner that the other person can also respect you as a human being, and you in turn, you are also respecting the other person?
But here's the thing. When someone rapes the Constitution of the Republic, when someone has no respect for the rules and regulations of this country, where the respect has gone down the drain. Politicians have no respect for the poor, dejected people of this country. That is why they are able to splash 2.5 million on Independence Day celebration and actually say, no, the poor masses have not been invited. It's strictly on invitation. Then at the same time, a week later, you jet out to Dubai on taxpayers' expense, and then you go dine and wine with the sheikhs, all in the name of...
Let me come back to the Dubai issue. Did people really think that they were not supposed to eat?
No, Wanda, we're not saying that you're not supposed to eat. But if you saw that setup, that's not cheap.
That's how Arabs feed.
No.
Yes.
No.
Arabs
Arabs
do that.
Arabs, when they feast, They feast in tents and they feast on their traditional foods. I've been to Arab.
So that was not
That is
Arabic
top notch. That is luxury. That is state of the art. That's going beyond what is normal. Because that alone, I could estimate that was most probably a lunch for a good 100,000 Namibian dollars.
All right, Michael, so how would you feel? Because you are comfortable to call someone who would have built a toilet and then put this price tag. Now, there are also some people who have accused you of conning them of their money. How would you feel? Do you feel that you conned them, or the blame now is on the police who arrested you and then took away all the assets? Do you really feel that you were going to pay back?
No, I don't feel I was going to pay back anyone.
Yeah.
I have been paying back everyone. Okay. Now, we started this project in 2018.
Yeah.
And if you count from 2018 until our subsequent arrest, there is no single client that will tell you that they've never received their payment.
Yeah.
Or we had some dodgy stories of telling them, no, your payment is delayed or whatsoever.
So you were paying?
I was paying. I created millionaires. In this country, we don't have a lotto. So that means that if I have to say I've created more millionaires than the lotto, it's literal. Because there's no lotto in this country. We were helping people pay off their 20-year bank mortgages. We were helping people send their children to schools. We were helping people get an extra income. We were literally assisting people to become financially independent. So when now people start calling me all these names of saying he's a scammer, he's all of this, I don't feel an issue, because I know for a fact that I'm not a scammer, because I've not scammed anyone.
Your heartbeat doesn't skip.
It doesn't skip a bit. I sleep at night. I sleep perfectly well at night, because I know that I've not conned anyone or anything of the sort. But you need to understand that life is unfortunately like that. No one is going to shower you with roses. No one is going to call you wonderful names. And I'm not a model. I'm not a beautiful model that I would want everyone to sort of like. You see, the problem is many of us want to be liked. And that's why we conform and we don't stay true to ourselves. I'm true to myself. I speak the way I speak because I feel that that's how I best express myself. If you don't like me for doing that, then unfortunately I cannot force you to like me.
All right. So I think, isn't there some bit of contradiction here? Because the last time that you appeared, the other time you appeared in court without shoes, and you now are dealing in land, right? And you are saying that all your money was taken away. You were stripped of everything. People then would want to know, but this is the guy who is claiming to have lost everything. He has discovered something else. Are you free to shed light on the issue of the farm, the land? How did you get it? What is happening? So that we get to know.
Precisely.
And when you appear without shoes once again in court, because people were saying you are an attention seeker, and you have also come up to say you can't raise money to pay your lawyers, and Amomo Kadila is doing it on
pro bono.
Yes, and then you are looking for another lawyer. How do we marry this? Where you are selling land, and then at the same time you are saying you cannot afford, and you have packed a make outside. How do we marry all these things? If we are going to put them in one basket to say, here is a guy who was left with nothing, but you are driving a make, you have land that you are selling. How do you make people believe you?
Okay.
How do you convince them?
No, there's no convincing. Now, it's a known fact that my bank accounts are frozen. And they are comfortably seated with a couple of millions. I'm actually a dollar millionaire.
Meaning
that
Greenberg.
I'm a millionaire in US dollar. not
Okay.
in Namibian dollars. But that's now despite the fact.
Yeah.
Now, this is one thing that many people do not understand. I don't come from a rich family. My father is not a wealthy man. My mother is not a wealthy man. My family is, most of them, they are poor.
Yeah.
Dead poor. But I have a wealthy mind. And that is my greatest assets.
Yeah.
All these nice fleshy things that I accumulated in life is as a result of working with my head. It's a result of working with my mind.
Yeah.
Now, people often tend to think that when you strip a man naked, he's finished, he's done. But not forgetting that this man
Yeah.
had dressed himself using his mind. So when the government took all of that, I went back to doing what? Doing what I do best, and that's thinking. Now, the land issue, I'm very comfortable and I want to speak about it because it's transparent. There's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I've never hidden anything in my life. Now, what we did is we looked at the housing crisis. And sometimes it doesn't help when you just want to bemoan about changing things and housing prices are high and all of this. So what we then started is we started a company called Property Group Save Namibia.
Yeah.
Now, the name itself,
Was it after you have acquired the land? Or it was
that's before. Remember?
So you had a company before you knew where the land was going to come
Yes.
from?
So everything, first you conceptualize an idea. Once you have conceptualized an idea, you put it into plan.
Yeah.
Then once it's on plan, you then see what are the required measures, what do the laws say, and all of those things. So we then went, registered companies and things of this sort. Now, once we're done with that, we're now a company that's registered, we've got our bank accounts, we now needed to look for the land. So we then started hunting for the land. Hunt. And it's been a struggle. Most of the time we would make offers to the respective sellers.
Yeah.
And the moment you tell them what it is you intend to do with the land, they immediately decline to sell. So eventually, we even had to go to an extent of getting a white person to go and look for the land for us because we were not succeeding, especially when they saw my face.
So you had to use a white face?
Yes. We needed to use a white face because unfortunately, white people deal with white people. And they are willing to sell to their counterparts. But when they see a black face, it becomes a bit difficult. So eventually, we're able to secure a purchase agreement for the purchase of the land. And then once we had this agreement, this was our golden ticket. We now started going to lenders and saying, we want to put up a housing development. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Can you please borrow us this money? And then this guy say, how are you going to pay it back? No. As you can see, it's a 50-hectare piece of land. We're going to subdivide it. We're going to have plus minus 510 ervens. If we sell these ervens each at the minimum price of 360,000.
Let us breathe in a little bit. There's a commercial break that's coming up.
Okay.
Join us on the other side of the two commercial breaks that's coming.
Celebrate your culture with Culture Collection. Visit culturecollection.com.ma and submit your quote of what culture means to you to stand a chance for your unique quote to be featured on artwork across Namibia. Culture Collection. Celebrate your culture.
Ah, beer ads. Ice cold golden lager, white foamy heads, the best. Well, what about all that and fresh zesty flavor in one perfect mouthful? Tafel Radler, it's beer, but extra. Not for persons under the age of 18. Enjoy responsibly.
All right, welcome back. It's 5 o'clock on the dot. Mike, you were saying?
Yeah, so as I was saying, we eventually got the sales agreement.
Yeah.
And then we started approaching possible investors, possible funders, and that's how we're basically be able to raise the capital in order for us to purchase the land.
So you are sitting on a loan?
Yeah, everything.
So the people who put in money, they bought shares?
Pretty much. But you need to understand that when you have nothing, you sometimes need to sacrifice. Now, I always tell people that it doesn't help you have 100% of nothing while you can have 1% of something. So right now we're sitting with 1% of whatever this company is because we needed to sell off the rest of the shares in order for us to raise the capital. But this 1%, if you're looking at a project that's approximately going to cost about $1 billion, 1% is good. It's not bad. But it all comes as a result of doing what? Using your head. Now, many young people, and this is what I always try to educate them on a daily basis, is to say that you sometimes don't need connections. You don't need a rich family. You don't need to come from a well-known family. My family is not well-known. Today it's well-known because I made it well-known. But before that, no one knew about Amushelelo. Nobody cared about Amushelelo.
But so can someone then be correct to say you can afford to pay for your legal services?
No, unfortunately, my legal services, I cannot do the same bartering deal because what do you gain from paying my legal fees? The other people are gaining land, which is valuable. Now, from paying my legal fees, what are you going to gain, Kuchu? You gain nothing.
Because there could be an impression that, look, the guy who says he doesn't have money, it seems as if he's doing well.
I don't have money. I'm just using my mind. I'm just being resourceful. You see, I'm like Japan right now. Japan has zero resources.
Yeah.
But it's the third world's largest economy. It used to be number 2 before China overtook it. These guys don't produce steel. They don't produce literally nothing. But what do? They come, they take or buy from whoever, and they are able to produce Toyotas.
Yeah.
They are able to produce Nissan. But they don't have the resources.
Okay.
So the problem is people tend to think that if you have resources, you can utilize them wisely. It's the same issue with our government. Our government is sitting on plenty of resources. But the key issue is that we do not have resourceful people. So if I can make something out of nothing, imagine when we are seated now in a government where we have a budget that we can properly utilize to develop this country.
All right. You said earlier on that you were funding parties, political parties.
Yes.
Are they 2, 3, 4? And how many?
No, at this moment I'm not at liberty to say how many there are. But we funded quite a number of political parties. We also funded a number of independent candidates because you'd have seen in that year there was a surge of individuals who were contesting for positions in their individual capacities. So I funded basically anyone and everyone who wanted to see change. You see, it's easy for us to be seated all day on social media, complaining about the government, complaining about how things are not going well. But you need to be in that system in order for you to affect that particular change that you want to see. Yeah. Now, if we are just always bystanders, if we are always just in the crowd, you will always be there screaming, kick the ball this way. No, why did this one kick it that way? Why? But at least get in the field. And then you can now kick the ball in the direction that you feel it needs to be kicked.
But did you get any return on your investment, if I can put it that way?
There is no return on investment when you invest in politics.
Yeah. Because
what you're essentially doing is...
I'm talking about, did you get the change that you expected?
The change, we have gotten it. Because as a result of... I do not want to claim that it's because of me. But ever since I started going aggressively with this power, I saw a lot of other individuals also try and push the political agenda, which is a good thing, because in a democracy, in order for it to be vibrant, you need to have as many ideas as possible. Politics should be a a space of ideas. Because you see, when parties produce manifestos, this is your idea that you're selling to the nation to say that this is what we want to do. So the best ideas ought to be then the ones that win. And it doesn't just help that the best ideas win, but the individuals who are then having these ideas, they have no real agenda to go fulfill those ideas. This is the big problem. And this is the issue that we've been having for the past 32 years. The government has brilliant policies. They've got brilliant ideas. The only issue is that, number one, there's no accountability. Number two, there's a lot of mismanagement. Number three, we've got a bloated government. Number four, everyone's hands are dirty. Now, when everyone's hands are dirty, no one is able to point fingers to the other one. If you take my file today and go report me, I also have a file on you.
So it's checkmate.
So what do we do? Let us just continue being in the system. This is why you find a situation where you've got a 60-year-old that's supposed to resign. And the constitution is clear that you can only work until 60. But the person is given another extension of 5 years. Is that not abuse of power? Is that not raping the constitution?
All right. So let's pursue the political route here. You started by funding parties, independent candidates, and then you decided to form your own party.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, so what happened is that we didn't meet the criteria set up by the Electoral Commission in order for us to register as a political party. So that is why then I said, let me channel my resources to the opposition parties who obviously have registered political parties, so that through them we could perhaps try and effect change in the country.
So the funding, was it after or before you?
It was before.
Started your...
No, it was during that period. Okay. Remember, we started in 2018 and the elections is already in 2019. So you obviously need to make your calculations. Chances are you might get registered, and if you do get registered, it will be a bit too late for you to do campaignings and all of those things. So what do? So you put some here, you put some there, in the hope to say that, okay, in the event that you don't get registered, at least you have pushed the individuals you think would be able to go and affect that change in parliament and things of that sort.
In Power, when it was announced that you were part of Power, what surprised me was the other question that I actually had was, I didn't see anything common between you and Karonda. Where did your paths meet?
Okay, so the reason why I decided to go with a guy like Karonda, number one is I'd approached a different number of people. Because remember, I could not be the party president. The reason why, because of age. Our constitution sets the limit that you need to at least be 35 years old. Right now, I'm what? How old am I now? I'm 31 this year. So technically speaking, I cannot vie to be president of this country. Because there's that age restriction that the constitution has put up. So as you go then around meeting people and speaking to people, Karonda was one of the names that pitched up, and he was one of the few people brave enough. Remember, you need to have bravery, because the moment you announce to say that you are going against SWAPO, obviously you need to be prepared to face backlashes. Because let's be frank with one another. There is a thing called the state machinery. It's not perceived, it's real. And it can work in your favor if you're obviously dancing to the tunes of the state machinery, or it can work out of your favor if you're not dancing to those particular tunes. So the reason why I went with Karonda is because I saw his track record in terms of fighting corruption, was very vocal at the time he was at NUNW, one of the part of the reason why he was fired or there were factions in NUNW is because he was fighting to go after the 600 million of GIPF that was stolen. So I saw that this is someone who's credible enough to lead our organization, because these are the people that we need. People who are willing to stand and fight for this country and in the same process lose their livelihoods. Because he lost his livelihoods when he fought corruption. Now, there's a saying that says that when you fight the system is going to fight you back. And it's evident. How many business people, if we go from the days of COD to the days of RDP, there were business people who had pledged their allegiance to COD. These business people, they saw a natural death to their businesses. Same thing with individuals who were either perceived to be linked to RDP or to have supported them.
Okay, because the last time that I checked the power, you couldn't meet the ECN requirements, right?
Yes.
But was that enough for you and Karonda to say this thing is not going to work, to give it up?
No, it's not to say. You see, the thing is, we're not giving it up. The acronym of POWER stands for People Organized Working for Economic Reality. So wherever people organize themselves and they are working for economic reality, we will be there. That's why you can easily associate me with associations such as the AR movement. It's because I can see what it is that they are fighting for. And that is why now I've joined the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, because I can identify that these are people who are organized and they are working for the economic reality of our country.
But when exactly did you realize that?
No, so it's not to say when exactly. So when the funding got cut, it becomes extremely difficult for you to mobilize. Just for you to apply to start a political party at ECN, it's cost 25,000 Namibian dollars. That's when you're handing in your application. Do you have 25,000 there for me, Gucho?
From where?
That is the problem.
No, but I'm asking, because the NEFF, they have been here for quite some time now. And the announcement that you have joined them, then maybe the question is, if you say you now know that they stand for the same things that you stand for, ideology, approaches. Now, this is why I'm asking, when did you realize that you have these things in common?
No, it's a thing of, you sometimes need to sit down. You settle your thoughts and you put your ego aside. You see, sometimes every man wants to be the boss. Every man wants to be the chief. Yeah, I started this. I did this. What. So it's a thing of, let me put my pride aside. Let me put my ego aside. What is it that we're trying to achieve? What is it that you are really fighting for? Now, if you're fighting a just cause, and if you're saying you genuinely want to rule this country one day and you want to obviously bring about change, then you should be able to make compromises and sacrifices for the people that you want to fight for. So I then shopped around, try and see which political party speaks the same economic agenda that I'm always speaking. Most of them, no one has an economic agenda. Many of them, they just say they want power, but no one is really saying what is it that they're going to do with this power.
And the NEFF do have it.
We are clear. We have clear mandates. You should read our constitution. You will clearly see there what it is that we have outlined. And in the coming days, we'll obviously be rolling out our programs countrywide so people can really see that we just don't want to take over the country. We've got genuine ideas in terms of how we are going to redistribute wealth in this country. We've got genuine ideas in terms of how we're going to create employment in this country. We've got genuine ideas on how we're going to build wealth for this country. Because this is a wealthy nation. It's just poorly managed. Now, the problem is it's always leadership. Everything falls or rises based on leadership.
But Michael, you have gone to a party where others have left. Well, I have quite a number of names. They have left, they had complaints, and you went there. Now, the things that you are articulating here, the economy things and all these other things, are they for real? Can they be implemented? Because to be very honest, much of what I've heard the NEFF saying, unfortunately, Honorable Ipumbu is not here, is to bash Chinese, right? So if you bash the Chinese, are you talking about an economic program?
No, you see, it's not just about the bashing. Perhaps I'll then speak on the issue of why others have left.
Yeah.
Now, you see, people are instantly always looking for instant gratification. Now, many people obviously, when they feel that, oh, now we've not managed to get any seats.
Yeah.
Now we've only gotten 2 seats. Where can I jump to so that I can perhaps go become a councillor or I can become a mayor or whatever the thing is. So it shows to you the character of those people, is to say that they want to instantly get power for their own gratification. Now, when you have individuals like that,
Yeah.
those individuals are not there for the people. They are there for themselves.
Okay. But do you still have anything to do with the affirmative repositioning?
Yes.
So what is it that the AR movement couldn't do for you that you think you can get from the NEFF?
This is what you need to understand. AR is a civic organization. It's not a political party. This is where people always get it wrong.
Okay.
Just because they speak on political issue does not mean that they are a political organization. Is AR registered with ECN?
They have, yes. We have got, they've registered
As
according
what?
to branches.
As what?
Right, we've got the 2 from the coast, and then we've got 1 here.
But they've registered as what?
They just use the name AR.
But exactly. So they are not registered as a political party.
So what does it take to be in politics?
What does it take?
Yeah.
You first of all, it takes activism.
Then if you are an activist, you are into politics, right?
Precisely.
Okay.
And then also, are you aware of the issues of the day? Do you have an interest in the issues of the day? You see, a lot of people do not want to entertain politics because they feel that it's a dirty game, and people don't have just an interest in politics.
Okay.
They feel it's a waste of time, but not realizing that it's due to politics that your fuel prices are going up. It's due to politics that the sugar prices are going up with 20%. It's due to politics that your electricity prices are going up on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
It's due to politics that water goes up on a day-to-day basis. It's due to politics that you are homeless. It's due to politics that you are landless. It's due to politics that you are jobless. But people still fail to understand that it's the politics that play a crucial role in their lives.
And it takes a political party.
Yes.
And not a movement?
A movement. You see, if you're going to say you're going to take a movement, can I take Elson today and say that I'm going to parliament with Elson?
That is a church,
It's a church, but it's a movement. It's an organization.
Yeah. Right. Let me say this.
SPCA. Can I go there?
No. You are being extreme. If we say that the AR movement is not a political party, the reason why I was asking you what does it take to be in politics? And you have clarified that. Now, it doesn't matter. Does it matter, though, if you are an activist, but the agenda that you are pushing is a political one? Does it matter? Because we now have councillors from the movement. They are pushing a political agenda, and we can have one from the movement contesting to be the president of this country. What it simply takes is to go and register with the ECN, right? So whether it's a movement, whether it's a political party, the difference is the same. But my question here is, within that movement, right, is there something that you didn't see that you now see in the NEFFF?
No, it's not to say there's something that I didn't see.
Yeah.
I still remain an activist of the AR movement. It's just that now I'm politically associated with the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters. That doesn't change.
So your activism has got nothing to do with politics?
No. So if AR today is to have a march or a demonstration against the removal of a minister or anything of that sort, I'll join them.
No, let me get this straight up here. So an activist is not a politician.
No, there's a difference.
Can you explain that?
Can I explain that? Okay. Activism means that we are only solely focused on activities. What are those activities?
Yeah. What are they?
That's what you need to outline them. Now, as a politician, I now am into politics, meaning that there's a particular agenda that I want to achieve. What is that agenda?
Yeah.
Economic freedom in our lifetime. But the two coexist. And they are like symbiotic twins. Because remember, if you go back into history, everything starts with activism. And then eventually you get into politics. So I would say that there are levels to these things. But however, I remain a firm activist of the AR movement, and that doesn't change.
Okay. Let me just go back a little bit, because I need this clarification here.
Okay.
You chose the NEFF because of the politics. It's a political party.
Yes.
You can still join, and you are still an AR movement member or activist. Because of what exactly? Because the AR, if we talk about land, are we not talking about the economy? And land is politics, and the economy is politics.
Yes.
So much of the AR movement's agenda has been land.
Yes.
Right? And the politics starts from land. And this is why people go to war. So how can we separate, right, politics from land?
So this is perhaps what you need to understand, Wanda. I remain an activist of AR. But because of my political ambitions that I have joined the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters. Because AR at this point in time is not a political party. It's a civic organization.
But they can end up in parliament if they want.
If they end up in parliament, then even better for us young people. Because now we'll have AR fighting them on this side, and this side they'll have NEF hammering them.
So do I get it right if I say you are trying to double dip here?
No, I'm not trying to double dip. I have my firm principles that I believe in. Now, I can like chocolate, and at the same time, I can also love chili. My taste bud don't have an issue with it. So does my conscience have an issue with it? My alliances can't change. My friends can't change just based on my politics. You see, this is the grave mistake that we make.
Yeah.
We often, because of you are now at party A, you are now at party B, we cannot be friends, we cannot coexist, we cannot communicate and things of that sort.
No, but there's a difference here because there's some form of allegiance that is needed. If you join a political party, you have to buy into what they are saying.
Yes.
This is their ideology.
And I've bought into that.
All right. So does it mean that there's some similarity between the AR movement and NEFF?
Remember, in order for you to be able to restore the dignity of our people, what do we need to do? We need to get the land back.
Yeah.
The land is the foundation of building any economy.
It's the politics.
That is why I'm able to relate to AR. Because what have they been fighting for? They are the ones who've been at the forefront of bringing the land issue.
Yeah.
So now, because I've joined NEFF, I should now divorce them and start bashing them or start saying bad things about them.
No. There's no bashing. There's no divorcing here.
Yes.
What I'm looking at here is whether, because I asked you earlier on that, so what you are looking for in the NEFF, couldn't you find it in the AR movement?
I've already explained to you.
Yes, I know. I know that. And I was asking that basing on the ideologies.
Yes.
The AR movement, they talk about being Leninist, Sankarist, and all these other things. But does the NEFF also buy into that? Because by belonging to the AR, by being an activist of the AR, it also meant that you also bought into their ideology.
Yes.
My simple question here was whether you couldn't get fulfillment in the AR movement, like a man who have to marry two wives. You love them both,
yes,
right? But there is something that you cannot get from the other one. So you go and marry a second wife, so that the gap that the first one is leaving is filled up. Is it the same that we are talking about here?
It's the same issue.
So there are things that you cannot get in the AR, which you think you will get in the NEFF.
Precisely.
What are those?
Number one is to increase the number of seats in parliament.
Okay.
Now, once we increase or take over government, you see, people should understand that in order for you to govern the country, you just need to have majority of the seats. Now, laws currently can only be changed in parliament. Now, if we want to change laws that are going to start benefiting our people, where must we go? Demonstrations don't work. Strikes don't work.
But that's the way the AR was doing it.
Precisely. So I saw limitations to that.
Okay.
So when you see limitations, you now need to elevate. Because it doesn't help every single day you are doing the same thing over and over, but you're seeing that there are no clear results.
Okay.
So the idea is to say that we need to start getting young people interested in politics. Because the country needs young people to take ownership. Because the moment we don't take ownership, the moment we don't take politics seriously, we will have 80-year-old people signing 99-year lease agreements with foreigners. And by the time we want to take this piece of land, this foreigner tells you, no, you remember your 80-year-old grandfather, he signed this thing to me. I now have it for the next 99 years. This is how our oil concession rights are signed away. This is how our mining rights are signed away. This is how our land was essentially given away. It's because young people do not want to take an interest in politics. We want to be the whole day on TikTok, but when we start having power surges and you are unable to use your TikTok because our government imports 60% of its electricity. Perhaps then that's when you want to understand. When the fuel prices go to $25, and you now have to make a choice between buying bread and fueling up your car, that's perhaps when you want to take serious of politics. What happened when COVID came? Many of you are unable to get hospitalizations even in when you had your medical aids because there were not enough hospital beds. Many of you resorted to buying oxygen tanks at a cost of 30,000 just to make sure that your loved one was saved. But this is because we have allowed the health sector to fall apart. How many of us who are well off frequent or go to Katra Hospital? I broke my arm in 2019. I had the money to pay or literally fly out of the country because that's the norm. You see, when we are so bad at trusting ourselves. And that's why I said I trust myself. I don't need other people to trust me. But we have this distrust in our health system that we will not even go to our healthcare, public healthcare. I went to Katutura. Here my arm is perfectly healed. And it cost me what?
I think I got the answer that I was looking for. You are looking for growth.
Yes. Every human being, they say that the point where you no longer desire growth, you've become redundant. And unfortunately, I do not want to be redundant. I continually want to improve on myself. I continually, obviously, want to strive for better. And at the same time, as I strive for better, there's a powerful saying that says, and this is something I came up with. Wanda, I cannot empower you if I'm not in a position of power. Empowering comes from the word power. That means that I have to be in a position of power.
It's interesting because I'm thinking it's interesting that you are talking about limitations. You couldn't get over them.
Which limitations are there?
Because you said, because the other thing that surprised quite a number of people, including myself, was the surprise announcement today. And all this time, people thought you are still there, yes. But you spoke about the demonstrations and all these other things, and you said you cannot get anywhere by that. And that in its own, it's a limitation.
Yes.
But couldn't you come up with a way of where you could have said, guys, we are limiting ourselves here. Can we elevate?
No, you see, Wanda, you see, in a democratic organization, you can't dictate as to what is to happen. It should be a collective decision as to what needs to happen. But I'll not speak on that because it's not my mandate. I'm not the spokesperson. You're welcome to call Kanime and he can.
But can't I, before we move on to the next thing and then maybe open up the alliance, can I safely say you have jumped the ship, although you are being too diplomatic?
No. Ship we have definitely jumped.
You have jumped ship.
Yes. As you can see, I'm now, this is my red beret, so we are now officially fighting for the economy of this country.
But you have been doing that.
Yeah, I've been doing that, but like I said, there are limitations to doing certain things. And it's me, your gear one has limitations.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also has benefits because it's your most powerful gear. Your gear two, same thing. So you need to know when to switch up your gears. That is called wisdom. You can't just be driving the car the whole time. And now because you are afraid of switching up, you can't put it into two. So we need to, I realized that I need to change my gears and say, I want to move forward. Because eventually you will bend the clutch and destroy the car.
That's as plain as it is.
Yes.
All right. So you have been talking about economic stuff, and you are very eloquent. Orongo Smith, you also spoke about it.
Yes.
Where you were encouraging people to. I'm not quite sure whether you were saying you were going to buy it, or you were looking for people to buy into it.
So
what has gone down?
What has gone down? So what has gone down is classic white arrogance. So we made an offer to the Germans to say we would like to purchase your cement. But they never came back to us on our offer. So perhaps because they understand that if whites start owning means of productions,
Yeah.
we will no longer be so dependent on them. Black people depend on white people for everything in this country.
Is it not a two-way kind of thing? Can white people do without blacks?
No, but here's the thing. Whites can do without you, but you can't do without the whites. They produce most of your food. They sell you most of your things that you consume. So them, if they can't do without us, they'll just move to another market. But what can we do for ourselves as blacks in this country? That is the real key question.
But was there money for the Orongo cement?
No, we were going to crowdfund it. We did the maths. If they were going to sell it for 1 billion, you do the numbers to say if each one brings $1,000, how many do we need to be? Then we buy the thing. Then each one is a collective owner in the thing.
Yeah.
You see, the problem that perhaps we as blacks we have not yet been taught is there's a thing called shared ownership. Sometimes we look at these conglomerates, and because there's a person called the CEO, we think it's this person's company. Not knowing that there are individuals called shareholders. Now, I want to give an example of Agra. Agra is what you call a cooperative.
Yeah.
It's owned by plus minus 3,000 mainly white Boers. Now, Agra just started as guys who were just selling themselves. They were just selling grass.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they started. Now, initially it was just to sell amongst themselves. But others saw that, oh, these guys are now producing grass at a large scale. Let's start buying from them. So they would sell to their members at $30, and outside members they would sell it for $60. Eventually they started adding fencing equipment. Then they started selling medication for the animals. And then they started selling bullets for hunting. And they started selling the rifles. Now they sell you the cooking oil. It's literally a one-stop shop for a farmer. But it's not owned by one individual.
Yeah.
It's owned by several individuals. Now, we have a thing of individualism, where you want to be the only one who's successful. You want to be the only one who, from your village, you are the only one who drives a Range Rover, or you are the only one who owns this thing, because you find joy and pride in that.
Yeah.
The reason why I have not yet fallen is because I've been able to empower others. I'm not the only successful individual. But if I was the only one, I would have fallen hard, and I would have never been able to stand up.
Yeah. Maybe you were surprised when I asked you at the beginning of this conversation whether people try to trust you. The reason is simply because you have been coming up with ideas how to kickstart the economy, how to grow the economy. Orongo have also spoken about it.
Yes.
And you were talking about stock exchange.
Yes.
And you were talking about a bank, if I'm not mistaken. Insurance companies and all these other things. So the reason why, if you were surprised why I asked you whether people can trust you, those are brilliant ideas. But for people to buy in, they need to trust you. Now, with all these other things that are going on around you, where some people's money, although you were paying, like you are saying, some people's money now is being held up. Do you think that people will buy in all these brilliant ideas that you are coming up with, or they'll just say, like what the media says, this is a scammer, and our money is going to sink? And how will you be able to push to say, guys, I'm not what the media says, and I'm not what you think I am. I am real. So my first question was actually coming to this point, because you need to raise money, right? And that money comes from the people. How do you convince them?
Now, here's the thing, Wanda.
Because earlier when you said you don't need to convince them, but you need their money.
No. This is one thing I've understood.
Yeah.
I've been in business for over 15, 16 years now. And one thing I've learned in business is my black counterparts, they seldom buy into ideas. Now, whether it's because of self-hate or whether it's because of a lack of us wanting to collaborate with one another, it's like we're in the crepe system. The moment one black wants to emerge, the others pull him down. And it has always been this way. Literally. So, these ideas that I'm throwing around, I'm throwing them around in hopes that we now start changing our ideology. And we now start changing the outlook on how we see and view things.
Yeah.
Because before I started throwing around these ideas, who were speaking about owning banks or insurance companies? Remember, we're only comfortable having a Kapana business or a Shabin because that is your limitation to say this is what you are capable of owning. But when you now start to say you can actually own a bank, but you don't have to own it entirely as yours because you do not have the capital means. But if you guys break down the numbers to say this is how much money you need to raise in terms of capital, because Bank of Namibia would tell you that you need to have at least 500 million Namibian dollars in reserves. Now, as previously disadvantaged Namibians, where do we raise 500 million if not from crowdfunding? So, as a result of that then, a lot of people start then having issues with your idea simply because who is putting this idea to the forefront? The ideas are brilliant that I'm presenting.
But they need people to trust.
No, it's not even to say they need people to trust.
Yeah.
You see, trust becomes a small component of this whole thing. The whole thing is about complexity issue. Blacks hate themselves. No one is more disrespectful to a black man than another black man. No one is going to destroy another black man more than a black man. So, this hate.
All right, Michael, let us take a breather here.
Okay.
Now, we want to talk about, you said whites and blacks now. We need to merge that.
At my age, you start appreciating things you might have taken for granted before, like good health. I've known from early on that donating blood regularly was indeed good for my health. I'm too old now, but I've done my part in saving hundreds of lives while benefiting my own. You see, my risk of a heart attack, stroke, and cancer was always low because I donated blood.
Call NHP on 061 285 5400. We're about you.
All right, we are back in. It's 5:45. Honorable Ipumbu of the Namibia Economic Freedom Firefighters will be joining us any time now. So, Michael, who do we blame for what is happening to us as blacks? Should we blame whites? Because he also said whites, they can close the doors for you. Now you are also saying it's the black man who is the West. So where exactly are we?
So
who has got our fate in their...
So right now we have our own fate. But as a result of years of indoctrinating and subconscious programming to say that there's someone more superior than you are. And remember, slavery was a psychological warfare. Because the black man was made to believe that he's not good enough, he's not brilliant, he cannot think for himself, he has no ideas, he has no vision, and they can't rule themselves, and all of these things. Now, as a result, as you grow up, you are constantly reminded of these things. And these things go to your subconscious mind. That's why I see it a lot of times, that a black man is submissive to a white person. The moment they see a white person, already it's like they are shaking and there's fear in them. Now, it is this fear that we need to uninstall from the black man. Now, this fear is real. It's not even perceived. The time when we're allowed to wear masks. So I went into a particular shop. And I saw before I went into the shop that I don't have my mask. But then I saw two white gentlemen standing there talking without masks. So I figured this shop is most probably mask friendly. So I decided to walk into the shop. And my fellow black security guard immediately tells me that I cannot enter this shop because I do not have a mask. And then I point to him and say, if you do me a favor and first go and tell those two white people to put on their mask, I'll gladly comply in also putting on my mask. So can you see that this black security guard was fearful to go and tell white people to put on a mask? But he was more than eager to tell me to say, hey, put on your mask. So this is why I say we've become our own enemies. Now, the reason why we've become our own enemies is the white people made sure that there's always only one of you. At the CODESA negotiations, there was only one Mandela. Why was there only one Mandela? In the days of the slavery, there was only one house nigger. So this simply means that whoever got that position of one, they will be the only one. So as a result, we now have that ideology to say that if Michael succeeds, then that's it. The doors are closed for us. He'll be the only one who's successful.
So I'm getting the sense that you are putting yourself up to say you have got the answers to helping people end their poverty.
Precisely.
And that you do not want to take everything away, but you want to just be there and facilitate it. Is that so?
That's precisely it. Because, you see, they say that only weak-minded people are scared to share ideas. Now, the reason why most people don't share their ideas is because you are scared that your idea will get stolen. Now, the reason why I write these things on my social media and why I air them out is because whoever then steals this idea, I'll be very happy that we now have a black-owned insurance company. I'll be very happy that we now have black-owned banks. I'll be very happy if Horongo Cement is owned by black Namibians. I'll be very happy if B2 Gold Mine is owned by black Namibians. That in itself for me would be an achievement. And I'd be very happy.
So apart from the land, which I think you guys have managed to sell quite a number of plots, all the other ideas that you are putting out there, how many people have bought into them?
Well, right now, especially with the Black Economic Empowerment Association, there we've managed to get a lot of traction. And we're just busy waiting for our lawyers to finish with our registration of the trust fund, and then we can actually start doing some real magic in the communities. Now, the whole idea is birthed from me studying the Afrikaners, the Jews, the Chinese, the Indians, the Pakistanis. Now, when a Pakistani goes to South Africa, they then go into the location and they'll set up what is called a home shop. They call them spaza shops there.
Yeah.
And then there will be a group of other Pakistanis who also own spaza shops. Now, what happens is they then, end of the month, come together. And then they pull all of their money together.
Yeah.
Then they have one representative who then goes and negotiate with the metros for discounts. Remember, let's assume there are 50 Pakistanis, each having $1 million. That's 50 million that they have. So when they go, they have what is called buying power. So immediately, their products, they are already able to buy them on discount. Now it is this discount that they then come and reduce to sell at a cheaper price to the to their consumers. This is why many South Africans can't understand how is it possible that we have the same Coca-Cola that we are selling, but the Pakistani is selling it for $2 or $3 cheaper than he is. Our problem is that you are doing it as an individual. And that is why I'm saying the black man's curse is individualism. Because as a single, you are not powerful. But when we become united, we now have a voice. We can now literally have buying power. You see, if I go now to ShopRite and I complain alone to say that I'll stop buying from you, ShopRite is not going to pay attention to me. But if I tell them that I have a backing of another 100,000 people that are not going to buy from them, they are going to definitely listen to us.
So I've seen in recent months, weeks, we have heard about 2 new business entities coming up. Any comment?
Which new
We have
business?
got Naloloba, and then we've got the other one, the Namibia Black Business Leaders, and
well, I don't like commenting on.
No, I'm like saying, look, you also have the Black empowerment. Yes. Now, how does it fit in? Because you are talking about unity, and already we have got. If I factor in yours, we have got 3 in less than 2 months, right?
But we started ours before.
Yeah, but I thought you said it doesn't matter. You want to lead or
No.
But as long as
yes, that I fundamentally understand. And like I said, ego is a big thing, especially amongst black people.
Yeah,
we are too prideful. So I'll ask my colleagues to write mails to those 2 respective entities.
Yeah,
And see where it is that we can find synergies for collaboration. Because at the end of the day, we're fighting for one thing. And this is for black businesses or for black economic empowerment. But we sometimes need then to say, okay, fine, which angle do we then collaborate from?
Yeah.
Because there's no harm in collaborations. It just strengthens the organizations. So, but like I said, due to egos and all of this, it's not going to be a question, okay, now who's going to be the president or who's going to be the CEO? So if we can iron out those differences, then I think we can do so much.
But you are prepared to do just
No, I'm prepared. Definitely. There I'm definitely prepared.
Okay. Now, there's something else that has been going on, and you spoke about Orongo, but unless I missed it, the green schemes issue. Did you say your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the green schemes, it's a classical case of mismanagement. That's pretty much what we did. And you can clearly see that it's because either individuals wanted to benefit, and it's a classic thing, Wanda. You know, Wanda, in this country, appointments are not based on merit. It's based on camaraderie. So if you appoint your comrade who has no passion for agriculture, has no idea in terms of how to maximize in that particular field, what are you going to have? You are going to have a thing where it's mismanaged. If we go back and look at who were the previous ministers of agriculture, do any of these people have a degree in agriculture? Were they farmers before? And then you go down to the ED or the permanent secretaries. Are these people knowledgeable in terms of farming and whatnot? Because it doesn't help you have someone who's your executive director, but has no idea what, because this is the same person who's going to sign off on a purchase agreement to buy fertilizers for 1 million that should have actually just cost 10,000. Because the ED is then supposed to go and say, no, this fertilizers, this ammonia, I know for a fact that a bag cannot cost us more than this. But also it's a case of we need to eat comrades. So these guys have literally eaten this country away in the most literal sense possible. And let us be honest with ourselves. All of our borrowing has been for consumption and not for production. Now, it becomes very dangerous when you are only borrowing to consume. Because at some point, you will be unable to repay these loans. And this is where we currently are as a country.
So you have no interest in the green schemes?
No, the green schemes, I have an interest in them. But it's a question now of how do we raise the capital to revive these green schemes? Obviously, we've got an agricultural bank, but it doesn't help now that we just start pumping money without a genuine solid plan.
So what could be the plan?
What could be the plan? So the plan is this. Hire experts in the agricultural sector. There are plenty of them that we have in this country. Most of them are now young people. I've seen young people who are successfully running their own small irrigation schemes. And they are running them very well. However, the issue, and this is one of the biggest issues why our green schemes are failing, access to markets. We have Kalimbezi rice. The rice is becoming rotten. Because we don't have what? Markets. Now, how do you change that? This simply means that you now start drafting laws that says that all of the retail shops, it now should become mandatory that 50 to 60% of your products should be produced locally.
All right, there's another commercial break that's coming up. We will come back by then. Honorable Pui Pumbu have joined us here. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Global Parts provides quality auto replacement parts you can count on. Keep your Toyota in tip-top shape with our premium aftermarket parts. From fan belts, shocks, suspension, service parts, we've got it all. Land Cruiser parts, got it. Hilux parts, we got it too. Corolla parts, yep, we got it all. You love Toyota, so do we as we care for you. Our wide range of high-quality Toyota parts offer you quality products at affordable prices. Global Parts, global reach for best local advice and prices.
All right, we are right back, and we have been joined by Honorable Ipumbu. You can lift that up, say, and yeah, something like that. I think we are good to go. All right. Sorry for bringing you rushing here. Yeah. Because the last time I checked about 20 minutes ago, you were presenting. Yes. All right. Our conversation has been going on, and we have touched on quite a number of issues. But with you, I want to ask whether in him you think you have found a gem. Is this the person that you were looking for?
Wonder.
Yeah.
In politics, everyone that comes is very much important.
Okay.
Politics is about number.
Yeah.
And it's basically based on that calculations that you will actually be happy to be increasing on the number that you have.
Yeah.
So and for his coming to join the revolution, I mean, it's a great move. Looking at the background of what he started with,
yeah,
it's a person with the heart that has a remorseful sense of humanity. You have seen already the trying that he have started with, the power, which has already ideologically proven itself that it's somebody that was really trying to eradicate and to fight for the working class and the poor. And I think it's just higher time. All political party with the same socialist ideology to join the masses only to attain that economic liberty and take away the ruling that is being spoiled by the current regime party.
So wait a minute.
Yes.
The NEFF is following a socialist ideology.
Obviously.
I didn't know that.
Oh, then you should have asked even to get the copy of the.
I have it.
Toward even.
But from what I saw,
yeah,
I didn't see anything that is closer to socialism.
To get clarity on that, so we could actually go deeper, so you understand what we stand for.
Yes. Okay, so when you say it's a socialist ideology, out there. There are also countries. Which ones do you align with?
In terms of our political
ideology, yeah.
Wanda, let me perhaps just take you back from how the EFF was formed. Remember, we have the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa.
Yeah.
That was formed in 2013. And here in Namibia, we felt it's very much important because that specific ideology that they carried out was actually an ideology that needed to be emulated by the Namibian people in order to cater for the working class and the poor.
Yeah.
So that what's actually pushed us, because there was no other political formation that would really describe itself or present itself toward representing the working class and the poor.
Yeah.
So we had to engage with the EFF South Africa to see the principles and all the objectives of the party. Until such time we realize there is a need to form a political party in Namibia to be called Economic Freedom Fighters. And it happens in 2014. It happens and it was a victory to us because remember, 2014 elections were in November.
Yeah.
And we got our registration in October. 9 October, it was victory to us to at least have a revolutionary movement that aspires to free the working class and the poor.
Yeah.
That is registered, fully registered with the Electoral Commission of Namibia.
Yeah.
Even if when we participated in that election, we couldn't really feel that it was a loss because having something registered and having a process of going now out to educate and sell the ideology, it was a blessing to us.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Let me talk about this.
Yeah.
You spoke strongly. I think it was you today about Leon Yuste.
Yes.
Where you were calling, where you were actually calling on him to go.
Yes.
Can you attribute what you said today to his resignation? Did he hear what you said and he thought of going?
you see, this issue came a
Yeah.
long way.
Yeah.
Remember, already by 2020, the issue of the national airline, we were trying to engage him to say, comrade, what
Yeah.
we are doing is wrong. We cannot kill the national airline. We have countries that are really going through economic difficulties, but they still keep their national airline.
Yeah.
Why do you want to liquidate Namibia? So, but then he couldn't listen. I said to him, 2020, my brother, this thing will hand you until such time you will be overcrowded by all problems of this country and you will go by yourself. So in today's message that I have sent to him, he clearly understood what I was saying. And already from yesterday when I asked an oral question on the Prime Minister, because he was not in the House, I said, I wanted to ask the question to the Minister of Enterprise, but he's never in the House. So the question was, why is he again looking after TransNamib? And again, there is an idea of liquidating Telecom Namibia. So these are all questions that I wanted to ask him. And because he could not be there, the only solution was to ask the president of the country to ask this gentleman to resign. And now, knowingly that he has gone, we needed actually to confiscate his passport so that we see what went wrong from the national airline, come to road authorities, RCCs.
Roads Contract Company, yeah.
Yes. Now toward TransNamib, look at what happened to MTC. I don't know how much even we are getting from privatization of MTC. And the issue of even bringing Parates. Look at what is happening now. Telecom Namibia. Is there any work that Telecom is doing? Nothing. The idea was to push further, advance that Parates.
But is there a link? Is there a link? Or I was talking to Michael here.
Yes.
Regarding the green schemes. I'm not quite sure whether he also sees the issues at Telecom Namibia as being caused by a competitor. Because Telecom Namibia has got everything, right?
Yes.
Government support, infrastructure.
Yes.
So can we safely and with confidence say they are dying simply because they are being killed? Or it's something else that is going on there that just needs people to jack up?
I wonder, you are a journalist,
Yeah.
and you have this background of what transpired from the beginning of how our state-owned enterprise been going down.
Yeah.
So, as from the beginning...
But why are they going down?
It's because of him. He is doing this deliberately.
But Honorable,
Yes.
the state-owned enterprises have been going down before Leon Yuste. Roads Contractor Company, for example, their death did not come because of him. They were already dead. So if we heap all the blame on him, are we not missing the point here?
We are not missing the point.
Yeah.
Why are you then appointed to be the Minister of Enterprise? You are appointed to come in and rescue, not to come in and continue suffocating the situation.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's exactly why you are accusing him.
No, we are not accusing him. Things happen. We needed to ask him, why are we liquidating the national airline? Apparently, an airline which was liquidated long way back, Challenge Air. We needed to know who is Challenge Air, who is behind Challenge Air. Yesterday when I asked about the 200 million, and this is something that has pained him. He couldn't have resigned. He could have continued. But he knew that there is a kickback of 200 million that was paid, and it's within...
Paid to who?
To him. It's
By
a
who?
kickback. Why they have liquidated the national airline. It's paid to him. He needed to come to the house and explain where is the money. Why did you allow the airline to be liquidated? And at the same time, now he's the one that's sourcing people to come and buy our planes.
So this 200 million came from who?
That story will come out one day. You are a journalist. You can also find it. Find out yourself, because it's a story that makes him to resign. He now has resigned. He's no more way to be found.
So can we say that he has resigned because he actually heard what you were saying today?
Yes. From the press conference that we had this morning, he heard what we were saying. There are spies all over. So even the president, he have heard what we were saying, that we are asking him to ask this gentleman to resign. He's actually selling out our country.
Okay, so let us come back to Amchelero. Now he has joined you guys. What do you expect him to do?
Wanda, initially I said politics, when you get numbers, you get excited, because this is actually the main objectives of you forming a political party, or you belonging to a political party. You want to gain more members in order to influence the electoral process, for you to get either to govern or either to get more seats to parliament. So the expectation from the leadership of Amsharelo is to actually contribute to what is already there, so that the revolution grows further. We need more memberships. And he is already someone that has followers. Remember when I said he started the power? People joined power because they seized the energy, the strength, the capacity. And now him joining also the young, energetic revolutionary movement. It's actually a bonus to this revolution, so that we fight together, because we have one and the same sentiment, fighting for the poor of this country. Yes.
So is he just coming to be numbers and to be part of the Chinese bashing songs?
Like I said, to grow the revolution. Yes.
But the revolution that I've heard you guys is Chinese bashing. Is that how we grow the economy?
Wanda, politics has a different way of expression. One of which you are referring to, the Chinese. You know, the economy of this country is down because of these Chinese and Indians, which is real, it's a fact. And you wouldn't really expect, again, Amsharelo to be the one again singing about the Chinese and Indians. We have been talking about these things ever since. And look at even the newly established association, Naroba, is also talking about business being taken by the foreigners. Our people are no more longer engaging into business. These small businesses, they are taken over.
But who do we blame here?
We blame the system.
The system.
We blame the system because there was even a motion that was introduced in Parliament by our CIC, Epaphras Mugwilongo, to say, let's review the free marketing economic policy to allow at least these foreigners to have a stop somewhere, not to continue suffocating the smaller businesses that we have in the country.
It's the same call that Naloloba is making now.
Yes, it's the same thing.
But can we honestly, because I want to understand this, can we honestly say all our problems in the business sector and all the issues that are affecting this country, can we say that it's because of the foreign businesses that are coming in, or we can take part of the blame to say, guys, we were supposed to have done this and we were supposed to have done that? Can we honestly say everything else is because of them? Or we can select to say this and this and this, yes, but this and this and this, we take responsibility.
The honest part will only be on the policy. Should we allow to change policies that allow foreigners to suffocate our businesses? That will help. The policy is being defended by our brothers and sisters that are sitting on the other side of the house. When we try to seek solutions, they defend, because some of them, they sleep under tables with them in terms of kickbacks. That's why they don't want these policies to be changed. But look at immediately after independence.
Yeah.
We had businesses that were running. Go to villages, there were men and women that were doing businesses. What is happening now? You go there, you find a Chinese shop. You go there, you find an Indian shop. Just imagine an Indian selling a beer. What do you expect a Namibian person to sell? Can't you even have at least a warehouse somewhere where our people can come and do stocks and then go and do a retail? So you come in and then you want to do everything on your own. Can we go to India and do the same? You cannot do. Can we go to China and do the same? You cannot do. But why are we allowing it here in Namibia? I think it's a matter of bringing that policy forth, change it, and make sure that it does not allow Namibians to be deprived to what they should do as also Namibians that need to survive. Yes.
Now, you have been in the house, yes, Mike?
There's a consumer protection in this country, but there's no business protection, especially for small businesses. The same way we protect consumers, we should also protect our business people. Because we cannot compete with these guys. When an Indian comes here, he comes with his grandfather's wealth. When a Chinese comes here, he not only comes with the backing of his family, but he comes with the backing of the mighty Chinese government. And it becomes difficult.
Why can't we do that?
That's why the policies is important.
Important.
But it's also a thing of who's friends with who. You see, lately we've become too close with the Chinese. And we have become so close with the Chinese that the Chinese ambassador has the power to summon your Deitunga to say, come and explain what is this situation that I'm hearing here. That is the type of relationship that we now have with China. So the question is, are we still in charge or is China in charge? Because if you see the mighty headquarters of the Satan was a police officer is being built by the Chinese. So can you imagine a government that does not even trust its own people? And this is the level that we have been sold out to.
You have been in the National Assembly now for 2 years, 3 years?
Yes.
3 years. How have you tried to move all these things? And what exactly is the problems to push them through?
Wanda, I said the other side of the house. Remember, we have clapped hands. People that goes to parliament just because we're in the list to go to parliament and your name is within the list that is supposed to be sitting there. Not necessarily.
But these are blacks.
Yeah, black, but without a common sense of thinking as to what we should do. Remember, only a few, not all those people that are sitting the other side of the house know exactly what is happening. A few political connected are the ones that are enjoying, and they are the ones that are influencing others not to take the right decision. Some of these policies, that's why initially when I said the free marketing economic policy, it's a motion that we needed to debate.
You need to control it.
Yes, and then come up with measures to regulate the business policy. But then we could not get that room because it was outstayed, because the other majority had just to raise up and say, no, it's not needed. But it's because they are protecting the interest of certain individuals that are benefiting from the same policy that we are trying to review.
Yeah.
Yes.
You went to State House a few weeks back. What went on there? What were you pushing?
It was all over.
Yeah. No, I want to hear it from you here because there are people who are listening now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The issue of the economic advisor, that we needed clarity as to what qualifies him to be the one to advise the president on our economy.
Yeah.
Would you really have somebody to come and look into your silo from even your neighbor? Would you have your neighbor to come and see what is in your silo? Will it really fit to have somebody who is not a Namibian born person without a knowledgeable background as to what is Namibia, how Namibians live, what are we expecting as Namibians?
Yeah.
Would you really allow somebody to be at that higher level table, being your advisor on your economy? I think it's something that is wrong. We needed clarity where the president comes out and says, I'm very much angry with you because we are Africans.
But what did he say when you raised that issue?
He becomes angry. And he said, we are Africans, we should accommodate others. I mean, it's not about being Africans. We are not against Africans, but we are just saying, within this state of Namibia, I know there are those qualified people with capacity, people with knowledge, good economical background that can actually advise in accordance with what Namibia can actually get from this person.
Yeah.
So we just feel it's just not so helpful to have somebody coming from outside, whereas we have people that have a good background of this country. Yes, not somebody that will come in and again get taught as, this is how Namibia is, this is how this side, sometimes we don't receive rain, or this side we don't have potable water, or this side is just a mining area. No, we need somebody who have grown up here, somebody who has been raised up here, and somebody who has an educational background of this country from birth, somebody with the economic background of this country, even the political background of this country, will be able to advise the president. And I'm sure we have these specific people in the country.
Yeah. Yes. So apart from that, what other things did you discuss?
The issue of green hydrogen. I mean, we really don't have a problem with developmental projects of the government.
Yeah.
But we need now to look at how much is the government intend to put in. I mean, we are sitting with the saga of SME, where money just went, and we are still, we still don't know where the money is. I mean,
but but we know where the person is.
Why are we not then bringing the person? So, so the issue of green hydrogen. We actually wanted also to know who is the person with the concept note. Who brought the concept note?
Yeah.
Do we have even the person that is coming to do now the implementation? What track record does this company or specific country has?
Yeah.
Was it successful in the past? Or are we just trying? Are we being the very first country that we are trying this green hydrogen?
Yeah.
Because we are scared of just depleting everything and not really living for the generation to come. I mean, what is already there for now, I think it's enough for Namibians. A population of less than 3 million, I think can survive on what is within Namibia for now. But I think introducing new project, we must be very, very much careful as to what is the government putting in. What contractual agreement are we signing?
Yeah.
If there is none, and if the person is coming to put in their money, and we are not going to be held liable when things fail, I think that is up to them. We actually needed clarity on those things. Anyway, they have clarified things that the government is
and you agreed with them.
Yeah, the government is not going to pump in any money. So let the project go on.
All right. Now, before I let you guys go, who quoted who between the two? Was it Mike who reached out, or what exactly happened? I asked Mike earlier on
what?
Where the paths crossed for Mike to say, this is the outfit that I want, and for you guys to say, this is the guy that we want. How long did it take you?
The ideology.
No, I'm asking how long did it take you to say yes, come through?
It's politics. It's not about how long. Already when the power was formed. Remember the message within the objectives, the aims of power. It's exactly the same of EFF. So already these things crashes, and when times arise, like as we are talking now, it hit us, and there is no time of saying when was it, how did it happen.
So it just happened.
It has to happen.
It's a fusion.
It's a fusion.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. Right, Mike, your last take.
No, my last take is just basically to say that for a long time, young people, we have been complaining on social media that things are not moving, we've got corrupt leaders, we've got this and this.
Yeah.
But things are not going to change if we don't take an interest in politics. Now, it's sad to know that out of the 1.2 million registered voters,
Yeah.
we had about 500,000 in absentia. And the current ruling party got, because they now they have the majority of the seats, they got that 500,000 votes. That's why they're currently the majority. So it is these people who stayed away from voting that allowed the current regime to stay in power. So my only urge is for young people to join the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters so that we can fight for economic freedom in our lifetime. Because if we do not take matters into our own hands,
Yeah.
we'll continue to be spectators. We'll continue to bemoan, we'll continue to complain, we'll continue to make noise on social media.
Yeah.
But if we take critical action, we can bring about change in this country.
Okay. Yeah, Honorable Ipumbu, it's unfortunate that you joined us late into the program.
My last word would be, let's join the revolution, as this is the only hope.
So the revolution as in NEFF.
Yes.
No, not any other party, but NEFF.
NEFF, to fight for economic liberation. And we should actually agree to say whatever things which is wrong.
Yeah.
And whenever we are trying to rectify it in any way, what is wrong is just wrong. And being supporting something which is wrong,
Yeah.
we will continue to deepenly drawing ourselves into a level of poverty where it will even be more difficult to rescue ourselves when time arises. So this is the right time
Yeah.
that Namibia don't see it as a political gain something, but this is a real movement, a movement that classified to stand in for the poor and the working class. Just in today is news. You have heard the minister that has resigned. In
Yeah.
actual fact, we are not saying it's a victory to us because
But do we really know that this resignation is from what you were saying, or he was
whatever happened
is the
since,
coincidence?
Yeah, since we had this press this morning and already yesterday, I asked this question in Parliament. I wanted actually the minister to be present, but he failed to appear.
Yeah.
So we know he have heard what we have pleaded, that the president must actually fire him. And it's already at the hem. Everybody knows that all the SOEs that are falling apart is because of this gentleman. And we should actually be on the outlook that we are again going to follow those that are failing this nation. I've asked for the Minister of Education to resign immediately. We have young people that have been thrown into the street. It's because of the system that she did not inadequately qualifies and articulate properly so that everybody understand what system is implementing.
Yeah.
So we have asked the Minister of Health to also resign and get a very competent somebody that would really go out and see that hospitals don't have medicines. You come to Parliament there, you ask the minister, why are the hospitals not having medicine? He will tell you, no, we have all the medicine. But today you go there are no medicine. There are not even Panados. You fail even to get Panados. You will be referred to individual pharmacies. So we want to make sure that with this revolution, with this economic freedom fighters party, we are going to fight to make sure that we nail those that owe the pride of the Namibian people.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mike, thank you for coming through, and thank you for the conversation. Honorable, we shall be talking more and more.
Thank you.
These are interesting times, and yes, of course, it's 6:30. Let me just see you gentlemen out, and then Dwight can come through, and then make sure that he proceeds from where I'm leaving now.
The first free-range eggs produced and packaged in Ondangwa, Walenga eggs, are now available in 6s and 18s. These fresh free-range eggs are produced daily and have a shell life of over 28 days. Now listen up. Free-range eggs are the most nutritious and organic eggs available for human consumption. Just yummy. We at Walenga Eggs also want to give every Namibian an opportunity to own a share in our value chain. So if you want to sell or distribute Walenga Eggs, call Omalaiti Foods at 0811 27 3622 or 0811 660707. This is a first for Namibia. Walenga Eggs, the great white.
All right, it's 29 minutes to 7, and of course, my colleague Dwight is here to take over the business zone.
Business and economic zone, Wanda.
Zone business.
Zone.
All right, let's meet again tomorrow. First, the unpacking in the morning. Then we will continue, and then we will see and let you know what will be on the menu. All right, Dwight.
Thanks, Wanda.
All right, I'm out. Goodbye.
Speak your mind while respecting the opinions of others.
How can you say Namibia was brought on a silver platter when so many people were
No, that's not what I mean. I mean on the silver platter.
In terms of the